here's the part I don't tell people. This is part of why I'm passionate about the work I do. My dad was a military pilot. My dad was a super hard ass. And so I didn't have that male role model. I was very insecure. My subconscious conditioning, just not enough. I was spiraling. I was going out to drink beer 4 or 5 days a week. I had no real friends. And I went to a real estate boot camp. This guy got on stage and he talked about how to change your life. And he sold the course for $1,500. And my mom literally sat me down and she goes, "You're not going to buy this thing, are you?" That guy was so good, I bought his course. And when I went, ate fired, we broke boards and he hypnotized everybody. And I started making more money. I got my confidence back. And I think he saved my life. I really don't know if I'd be here today.
All right.
Hippopotamus, my rhymes are bottomless. Welcome to the stage, Jace Souder.
That's the intro. I know the whole thing right now.
That should be it.
That's really, can you come to all my speakers, please? Those hippopotamus.
Yeah.
And bottom.
Hippopotami.
Hippopotamus, my rhymes are bottomless. What's that?
I had a whole intro written up, but
No.
I think that's way
No,
better.
I don't know. I think that's the intro. I think we should go with yours.
What do you think, Jace Souder? You think hippopotamus?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Wait,
That is not what I said.
can you rhyme it with koala, maybe?
Koala.
Gonna show all of you.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. That was the one.
I don't know, I might go with the hippopotamus.
What I was going to say is today's guest is someone who makes you do a double take when you hear his story because it is quite fascinating and it almost sounds made up. So you double majored in accounting and finance.
How'd you know that?
Listen, I did my research. Then swapped spreadsheets for Sky Miles and became a flight attendant.
Yeah.
Did you know? I did not
didn't
know
know
this,
that part
okay?
of it. I didn't know that part.
Somewhere between crunching numbers and 30,000 feet, he realized his real gift wasn't in balance sheets. It was in influencing people. Fast forward, he's built a 7-figure business. He's run nearly 200 live events, appeared on national TV and radio, has even mixed hypnosis into his speaker trainings. He's the founder of World Class Speaker Academy and host of To the Promised Land podcast, and one of the leading experts on how to sell from stage without feeling slimy. Oh, but wait, there is more. His bio reads like a mashup of the Avengers of personal development. So he's worked with and co-authored books with Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, Les Brown, John Asraf, Mark Victor Hansen, and more, because I was like, I could just keep going on and on.
I didn't know that, man. That's amazing.
And he's also been featured next to them in movies, inspirational movies, and is known as the face of the comeback for small businesses. In short, Jace Souder is part strategist, part showman, and part miracle worker. And today he's here to pull back the curtain for us. Jace, welcome to the show.
I think that beat the koala. And the other thing, can you text me? That
will
was
text
way
you.
better than any intro I have. That was fantastic.
We can turn that into like a sizzle reel for you.
Yeah.
We'll get like one of those voices that's like the...
In a world.
Yeah,
where-
like that. Or National Geographic if you want to go with the hippopotamus theme.
That'd be awesome, yeah. I always feel like I need to put a disclaimer though. Like I haven't worked with all those people. I've been published through movies with a lot of them.
Sure.
Wow.
But yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, such a
Still.
huge list of
That's
credibility.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I found some of your old videos.
Are we showing these?
Cue the script. No, but it was so cool to see your background because all I know is like Jace, incredible from stage, and of course we know you from church, so like we see that different side of you too than just like the on stage performer with stagecraft, which I want to talk about today. It was really cool to learn your background. Flight attendant? I had no idea. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have to tell us a little bit of the background.
Did you do the exits to the side, the whole
Yeah.
thing?
Oh yeah, we had an emergency decompression once. So after college, I wasn't ready to grow up, and I became a temp. And it's actually how I got into seminars too. I was in airlines, you have to have security clearance to be a temp, right? And so you can't just hire someone off the streets if someone's sick. You have to. So I would be in this temp pool, and I would work for a week, 2 weeks, a month. And then I could have months off, but I got a full benefit, full medical, full travel.
Wow.
So I was like, this is a great job after college.
Great.
And they put on, we were worst in customer service. And they put on this series of seminars called Putting People First. And the woman in charge of the temp agency is like, you should work this. I think it would be cool. And I'm like, that sounds horrible. Sitting in a room listening to a speaker all day. I'm like, ugh. And she's like, you're going to work this. I'm like, fine. And I'm sitting there and I learned this thing about personality types. And I'd never heard any of this stuff before. And they're teaching all this stuff about how to deal with upset people. And I'm watching how the speaker tells the same joke, crowd after crowd after crowd, and they laugh. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. Because I like making people laugh. I like
Of course.
funny. And then we went from worst in customer service to number 1 in the country. And I was like, holy crap, seminars work. And I think this is where I fell in love with seminars. But I wanted becoming a flight attendant in there. I wanted to travel and just, I was 25 at the time.
Okay.
So then you're in the air and you at the cabin decompresses?
Emergency.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
You open with this crazy hook and you're like, let's move on.
So we're flying from Columbus to New York. And I was the first, which means I'm in charge of first class. And then the person called the second sits next to me, and the third sits in the back. And the second and third take care of the main cabin. And we just had probably about a 12-person first class on this airplane. And my attitude was this was back in the 90s. This is before all the
TSA.
computers, and all that, and computers, before all that happened. If there's empty seats, I'm going to upgrade people. Because there's no food. What's it going to cost us? $1 for a mini?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if I upgrade people, give them a great experience, they're going to come back.
Absolutely.
So as people get on the airplane, I look for who's cool looking or who's fun, who's nice as they get on, or if there's any airline employees, I'm going to upgrade them. So I upgrade this group, and it turns out they were soccer players for the Columbus crew. So it was professional soccer players and their girlfriends. Wow. And I'm serving, and this girl goes, she's sitting in like the second or third row. She goes, yeah, my ears are popping. And I was going to give her crap. I'm like, whatever.
You're on an airplane, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm popping my ears. And I'm like, well, there's only 2 reasons you pop your ears, where you descend or the cabin's decompressing. So I look out the window and we're not descending. And I'm like, oh crap, we're decompressing. And so we're in an Airbus, and on an Airbus, when you call the pilots, it goes, brah, it's like really loud. So the etiquette for the airline I worked for, we wouldn't call the pilots. We had a key hidden somewhere in the galley, and everybody knew where this was. It was a standard place. And you'd grab the key and you'd knock twice, and then you just let yourself in. So I get the key, and I open the door, and the pilots have their oxygen masks on, and the oxygen masks have these tubes that like suck around their head. And I don't know what was really happening, but in my brain, in my memory, they're like this, and I see papers flying around. I don't think there's papers flying around.
That's how you remember it.
I'm thinking, and they're like
The
flipping
wind
through
in the
their
windows.
Yes, right. And like they're flipping through their book, and and I look and I went, oh.
Mayday, mayday.
And I just closed the door and locked it. They don't even know I came. They never knew I went in until I told them on the
tiptoe
debrief.
backwards very quietly.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck.
Yeah, and I'm like,
We're counting on you.
From
airplane.
We're counting on you to land this plane. Surely you must be joking.
Yeah.
So my second, it was her like second week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she last much longer after that?
Actually, yeah. And then my third, it was his like 6th month, 4th month. They were both new.
Yeah.
And I was in my probably second year online. And so I called him and said, hey, I think we're decompressing, putting everything away. And they did. And 30 seconds later, all the oxygen masks dropped. I was like, put everything away, strap in. So I sit down and boom, all those oxygen masks drop. So I get my manual out, and there's a thing we read, and I read the thing, and I'm going through that. And then I get this portable oxygen bottle, and I'm going to go check. And you know how they tell you put it over your nose? And they say, do yourself first before your kids?
Yeah.
All these people are doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like there's moms literally putting it on their kid with nothing on their face. There's this poor grandma, she has it like on her nose like this.
Yeah.
Like not her mouth, and she's breathing through her mouth. And I'm like, so I help people, I go through the cabin, and it turns out what happened, we didn't know it at the time, but turns out there's a computer glitch and it dumped the air pressure. And when I sat in one of my jump seat, it was so loud because they were like diving the plane down to under 10,000 feet where there's no oxygen. So it was like super loud. In my brain, it sounded like airplane. It sounded like propellers.
Oh my gosh.
Just all.
They guys said, we like really handled it well, right?
Yeah, great.
And I had back then it was film cameras. And I was like, take my picture. I'm like this in the aisle. And I'm like, we kicked that emergency's ass. We kicked its ass. And it turns out, I missed this part in training. The oxygen bottle's not enough oxygen for decompression. It's just extra oxygen if someone's sick. So I was actually hypoxic. So I'm like, we kicked its ass. I was a little high, like I'd had beers, which cuts off oxygen, right? So, but we wound up handling it. You said you found videos. I was like, did Marley find this video? We wound up handling it.
Is it on YouTube?
Now I'm gonna look.
No, but I'm getting it digitized. I have the videotape.
Oh, that's funny.
We did a training. They had us come in and they filmed a training video that got shown for like a decade for flight attendant training because we handled the emergency so well.
Wow.
And it's a video of you going, yeah,
With your
slightly
exhausting-
high. Oh my
And
gosh.
so you went from that to now selling on stage.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, what a quick jump. I mean, you oh, actually, when this was happening in the plane, were you at any point like afraid for your life or afraid that this was going to be a catastrophe, or you're just like, we're going to get through this and just in focus mode?
Kind of all of it.
Oh.
When I opened the door to the cockpit and I saw, I literally
Papers
said,
fly.
do we cuss on this one?
Sure.
I literally said, oh, shit. Like took it in and then just closed the door. It was probably like this, closed the door, collected myself and called them.
Yeah.
I've always been really good under pressure. Working those events, those were just one-day events, but then being a flight attendant really had me fall in love with event life, which is a lot of what speaking is. Because you go on a trip for 3 or 4 days with these people you maybe just meet. You meet them 2 hours before the plane takes off in the ready room where you print up your thing. Hi, I'm Jace. And well, back then I went by Jason. And then you get on the airplane, you do your pre-check, and then you go. And if it's a good crew, you have a great 3 or 4 days. Or could be 2 to 4 days. My trips were typically 3 to 4. And if they sucked, it was horrible. And being on an airplane is very much like being in an event with people. Because once you're in that container, literally on an airplane, you can't just kick someone out. And if they're upset, you got to deal with it. And by the time they get to that airplane, they've gone through reservations, they've checked in, they've gone through parking, or they got a ride, and they went through security. And by the time they get to the airplane, they're either in a good mood or they're pissed. And
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
Travel
you-
brings a lot out of people.
yeah, and you can't get away from them. And so a lot of what we learned in that thing was how to deal with upset people and how to deal with emotions, which is a lot of what sales is, and which is a lot of creating great event is. We're really dealing with people's subconscious and people's emotions. And if you've got a great team, your 3 or 4 day event's going to be awesome. And if you have a bad team, it's going to suck.
We were just talking about an event, not to name it, that you came back from that wasn't, it was just talking. There wasn't an experience, wasn't an event, you know. And it's always, I can remember the airplane rides I've been on and the events so that it was an experience you felt transformed, and you're in that container. And if someone, there's always that one person that kind of goes a little crazy, but they handle it well. And it's like, it does come down to the team and subconscious training.
Yeah.
Yeah, managing subconscious. Yeah, that's interesting. So what did you do after? How did you get to the stage then from that? Did you just parachute out one day, landed on a stage, and now
I'm here. I've arrived.
with an awesome joke about some two Doberman?
Okay, so I was a flight attendant, and then I said I was doing it for 3 years. And I remember I worked for American West Airlines, who wound up buying other airlines, but they changed their name. I think they were US Air or something. I interviewed with Southwest, and they had weight requirements, and I had to cut weight, and I dazzled through my first set of interviews. My second one, though, I had to cut weight, and I was like so tired from not eating, and I didn't get hired. And I thank God I didn't, because I said I would do it for 3 years, but it gets in your blood. And if I hadn't, if I got hired by Southwest, I probably never would have quit being a flight attendant. It was so fun. But what happened was my dad called me up. He said, "Hey, let's get you into business." He had real estate. He had a bunch of rentals. He got them all paid off. He's like, "Let me show you what I do." And he said, "Come on, we'll go to work together." Here's the part I don't tell people. This is part of why I'm passionate about the work I do. My parents, my mom married a guy just like her dad, a military pilot. My dad was a military pilot. He was shot down in Vietnam. He was like, do it right, God damn it.
Yeah.
But he could also be super, super charming. And my mom's dad was super abusive, and my dad was a super hard ass. And I happened when they were trying to have like makeup sex, was the story my dad told me. And so I have no conscious memory of them being in the same room together.
Wow.
Yeah, never. And so I didn't have that male role model. And when I'd go visit my dad during the summers, my mom would only let me go for a couple of weeks. I wish she'd let me go all summer. And so the first week was my dad getting all over my ass because I reminded him of my mom and my mannerisms, and your mom should have taught you this. Like I went out there as a little kid of 7, and I had conditioner because I had long hair. And to this day, he would give me shit about having conditioner. I'm 7. Is this...
How do you know?
Yeah. How'd you know? Yeah.
So
Mom gave it to you.
I bring all this up because when I went out there to work with him, he also like, you're so effed up. I'm gonna F you. I'm gonna put you through a boot camp. This will be my boot camp to un-F you. And he was trying to do it military style, just grinding me down. But he didn't have the tools and the skill set to recognize subconscious programming, personality. Like, I'm a very touchy-feely, softy. Like I'm very people pleaser.
You have a high emotional IQ, and especially a lot of military guys don't.
And it's great that you turned out that way despite the influence from your dad, that it didn't like force you into that.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into personal growth is I didn't know it now, but looking back on it, I was very insecure. My subconscious conditioning, very just not enough, all of that. And so it was, when people don't deal with it, it starts to leak out and then it starts to really manifest in their lives.
Sure.
And so then that coupled with how my dad was, I was spiraling. Like I was going out to drink beer 4 or 5 days a week. I had no real friends. The Hashers, if you've ever heard of the Hashers, it's like a drinking and running group. It's fun in the right context and done in a healthy way, but that was it. Like we had a hotline. Here's where happy hour is tonight. Like that was my only social outlet, was going and drinking. I had no good habits. And I went to a real estate boot camp. I was a real estate agent, real estate investor. And this guy got on stage and he talked about how to change your life. And he sold the course at $1,500. My mom was with me. And I wanted to get her into real estate because she had no money for retirement and stuff. And I stood up to, I told this story a lot, but I stood up to go buy his course. And because I'm like, this dude's talking to me. And my friends had been through his course. And I was like, what was it like? And I'm like, we ate fire and he hypnotized everybody. And now we make more money. I'm like, you guys are idiots. And then I see this guy and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I need. And now looking back on it, I know how he was selling me. It doesn't matter though. I needed a change. And my mom literally sat me down and she goes, you're not going to buy this thing, are you? And I share that story because in the face of all of that, and I'd never spent more than like $250 for a seminar. In the face of all of that, that guy was so good, I bought his course. And when I went, we ate fire, we broke boards, and he hypnotized everybody. And I started making more money. I got my confidence back. And I share that because that guy was so good on stage that he moved me to invest in myself when I don't know if I otherwise would have. And I think he'd saved my life. I really don't know if I'd be here today.
It's interesting, the power of an event though. Like it's got to transport you into, for a moment, what life can be like if you actually do take the action. And so you go into real estate and you become an agent, I'm assuming, start doing investing. And it sounds almost like, I mean, you're a professional stage speaker. You have a world-class speaker academy, right? And you just have continued to daisy chain back and forth, almost like a daisy, come back to stage in multiple ways. How long did you do the real estate stuff for, and how'd you get back to stage eventually after that?
I was doing the real estate stuff, and that's when I went to that boot camp. And then, that's when I saw that guy on stage and I bought his course. And the biggest thing that course did for me is it showed me personal growth. And I bought that first course for $1,500, and at that $1,500 course, I bought a $4,500 package. And then I went to that, and at that $4,500 one, he sold like a $10,000 package, and I bought that. Sure. And I started going to every seminar I could go to. And so my first seminar I went to was February, and by October, I had done, I don't know, probably 8 different seminars I went to, and I moved to Vegas to work for that company. Like I was like, this is my future.
Of the same guy that was selling?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I volunteered he was coming over through Orlando, and I volunteered at one of his events, and the GM is talking to me, and I see the other volunteers, and she goes, here's the deal. If you're the top salesperson, I'm like, salesperson? I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, these guys are salespeople. They're getting paid a commission to sell. And I'm like,
I volunteered.
I'm like, wait, well, not just that. I'm like, you mean the same seminar I paid $4,500 for 3 months ago, I could go to for free and get paid? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like,
Cha-ching.
Yeah, and I was like, I wanted to go just because I wanted to hear that. And back then, you didn't get replays. There was no YouTube. I don't even think YouTube was a thing then. It wasn't. She goes, if you're the top salesperson, you'll get invited back. If you're not, no guarantees. And I had all these trainings from this company still in the cellophane on my bookshelf.
Sweet.
It was like cassette tapes and VCR tapes. And
those are relics, man. I do the same thing. I have so many of those. Yeah. Right? A big old bag of CDs of courses in the past.
Yeah. I still have on my bookshelf some of my CDs.
Yeah. It's the best.
So I actually listened to them. I'm like, I got to learn how to sell. And so to get back on, to go to, anyway, October, I took this leadership program through Landmark, and they're like, create this big thing for your life, this big dream. I'm like, I want to get into seminars. I love doing this. And so I moved out, slept on a friend's couch, and I showed up, and I'd be like, I didn't have a job with them. I just said, I'm going to make you sales, and I'll make you more than I cost you, and just pay me a commission.
Wow.
And it just started that way. And then I got to be a roadie for them. This guy would do hypnosis shows. I wound up doing a hypnosis show.
So do you learn hypnosis from him?
Yeah.
So
Formal hypnosis.
I want to learn about that because I didn't know that you did that until this research, that you would do hypnosis. And did you do it more in like the entertainment, or was it sales and entertainment? Tell me about that.
All the above.
Cool.
So his business model was he would do a hypnosis show one night, and then the next morning he would speak and sell at like a conference. And so he taught us all that. So I learned how to do the hypnosis show. And this is what put me on the radar for those guys and what really got me on stage per se. Remember I said I bought a $10,000 package? And it was a 5-day breakthrough course. That's why I bought it. Also in this package was 2 days I'm being a speaker and 2 days I'm doing the hypnosis show. And I no interest in being a speaker or doing a hypnosis show, but I got breakthroughs every time I was around these guys. So I'm like, I'm going to buy everything they got. I go to show up for the thing about being a hypnotist. This guy AJ's teaching it, and he goes, if you do the hypnosis show, you'll get girls. And I'm like, okay, I'll do the hypnosis show. So I fly back to Orlando, and I had a duplex I bought by this time, and my mom's living in half. I got these friends living in half. And I'm, you act as if, you ever heard the phrase act as if, to act as if. So I fly back, it's right after the seminar, I'm talking to Jade, who's the head DJ of Slingapore's, which was the hottest club in Orlando. And I'm like, I am the world's funniest hypnotist. I am a great hypnotist, da-da-da. And his roommates were Mark and another guy. And Mark was the bar manager for Slingapore's, and his roommate was the head bartender for Slingapore's. And I remember Mark looking at me, he goes, you're really good hypnotist, you're funny? And I'm like, yes, I am. And this is a Tuesday, right? Thursday, Mark calls me up, and he goes, hey, we booked you a show for Sunday.
You want to get on set? They put you on.
You're on for Sunday, see you then. And he hangs up. And I remember holding the phone going, I was just acting as if. I was just talking.
Is that what got you doing stand-up, though?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, because part of the hypnosis show, the first part is you get up there, you just kind of talk and warm up the crowd and be funny. And so from Thursday to Sunday, I learned how to do a hypnosis show. And sure enough, these girls I was trying to talk to before the show are like brushing me off. And after the show, they're all like, whoosh, and I'm like, oh, wow,
it works.
This works. Because this is something if you could figure this out in your business, let me know. I want to figure out how can we put our clients in a situation where they get put on stage before they're ready. Because if it had been up to me, I don't think I would have ever got on stage.
But it's the best accelerant. Yeah. And then it's a self-discovery thing and the confidence producer. Like, it changes the trajectory.
Yeah.
Yes. And having less time to think about it, I had Thursday to, do you know what a Walkman is?
Yes.
With auto reverse?
Yeah.
I bought an auto reverse.
Walkman. Yeah.
I bought one. I made sure to auto reverse. I recorded all of my dialogue that I would use during the show into the Walkman and listen to it 24 hours a day, even while I was sleeping. And I made sure I had auto reverse, so as I was sleeping, it would switch sides and play and play and play.
That's crazy. It's interesting you say that, though. Yeah, the first time I took stage, I wasn't ready. It was while the main guy was walking up and said, can you introduce me? And I freaked out. And I was like, what's the script? How do I do this? This is crazy.
Right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then I think the biggest things that we do in our life, we're never ready for. Yeah. Otherwise, you would already be doing it.
Yes.
Right? You literally aren't the person you should be. Otherwise, you'd be. So a question for you then, because, we do a lot of events. You do a lot of events. My gut tells me that you were abnormally successful in attending these seminars, meaning not everyone was as successful as you. What is the common pattern you see in those who actually have a positive change in their life? Like, what are they doing at the event versus those who don't? Like, one of the events I couldn't afford to go to, I started trading funnels for plane tickets and funnels for hotel nights. I just bartered my way there. And then at the event, because I spent so much effort and energy to get there, I took 54 pages of notes and was shocked to see all these like empty notebooks left behind. It didn't mean the same thing to everyone,
Yeah.
And you wanted it. Like, what are those common patterns in someone who actually gets change by attending these things?
So for me, what happened was, I bought that first seminar. It was December 2001 when I bought that first one. And something happens for a lot of people is we buy training, and then between buying it and going to it, it's like, do I need this thing?
Yeah.
And then life happens and all that stuff. And I was like,
The high wears off.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to go. That first seminar, right? And I was volunteering at the Atlanta Museum of Art, and we would put on the first Thursdays, which was a big party. And it was really, Orlando had a really, really cool art scene at the time. I don't know how it does, if it does now or not. But it was, like, we had a big party. They'd have liquor, like booze, beer and wine. And I chaired one, and it was February 2002. It was called Carnival. I came up with a theme, everything. And so I had a Brazilian band in the front that had like 20 different instruments people could play and join in.
Wow.
You know, like the things you go like this, like, or like, and all this stuff. And then in the back rotunda, I had a Zydeco band. So like a New Orleans Zydeco band. My friends owned a Cajun restaurant. They did a live crawfish boil in the main rotunda.
Wow.
And they had sold beer from New Orleans. I called Universal Studio. I got stilt walkers. And the buzz was huge. And so we had these overflow. And this will tie in. I'm taking it there. Yeah. And so, and then you know those things they have outside of car dealerships, like the socks, like the fan comes up and it kind of goes like this.
Why are you waving inflatable arm flailing tube man?
That guy.
Yeah. Well, I had two.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Guys, and so we have this great event, right? And it's the best thing I've ever done, and like that I'd ever put together in my life. And meanwhile, at the time I was broke, but I'm making everyone else, like the museum, tons of money, right? And I look back at the pictures of that day, though, the look in my eye, I look like I'm having fun, but it's that booze fun. It's not real fun.
Yeah.
And I'm packing up, and this is like the greatest thing I've ever done. Oh, I didn't tell you guys this part. So the event, I wasn't going to go to the event. And because I was a flight attendant, I used to fly for free. And I didn't know, like, the longer you wait to buy your tickets, the more expensive it gets. Oh. So I had waited, and the event's coming up in like a couple of weeks. And I booked my tickets, and I used CompuServe. And this was 2002, like January 2002, I'm booking my flight, and I book it online, and I book it for the wrong day.
Oh.
And it was $700 already that's in $2001, $700 for a flight.
Yeah.
And because I booked it for the wrong day online, they want to charge me $1,000 to change my flight.
Come on.
Yeah, from Saturday to Friday. So I'm like, forget this. I'm not going to this event. It's been 15. Screw it. Fast forward, we do this event. I'm packing up one of those.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Yes, and they come in this box, and you pack it in, you put the lid on, and I'm squatting down, and I was like, I've always liked to take in moments in my life, just get present, and I was like, all right, this is one of the greatest things I've ever done, and I was like, who's here to share this with me? And all of my friends from the Hashers were like, we'll be at the bar, see you later when you're done. And it was my mom and the museum staff and these two new acquaintances I just met. These people were real kind. They were helping me clean up. Greatest thing I've ever done. And me and my mom, right? But nobody else to share it with. And the pain hit me so deep. And I was like, I remember the pain. And I was like, this is not the life God has for me. I didn't have a relationship, I really wanted to be in a great relationship. I didn't have a woman to share it with. I didn't have good friends to share it with, nothing. And I was like, this is not the life God has for me. And I was like, what do I do? And this little voice goes, well, you bought this seminar, you might as well go. And so I paid the extra $1,000. And when I went out there, this guy, he was a hasher. I was staying on his couch, and we used to party a lot. And he's like, let's go party. I'm like, no, dude, my life's on the line. So for one of the first times in my life, I'm like, no, I'm staying in on a Friday night. And when I showed up to that event, I'd pay $1,500 for the ticket to the event, $700 for the flight, $1,000 to change it. So now I'm in it for over $3,000. And then the pain of what happened at the museum, like I showed up desperate.
The stakes were high.
Yes. And so to answer your question, for me, and what let me be successful at all those events is I found out I could change my life. And Landmark has a thing, how good do you want it? Is kind of like I forget what they call it, but it's a question you can ask yourself. And it's, if you want your life to be better, train more. And so I learned if I showed up and threw myself into it, my life would change. So I was desperate. I was just running from the pain of an old life, like so hard. And running with all I had towards this promise of this new life. And I was seeing my life get better as I went. I remember my dad, he was like, I've been trying to reach you for years. I don't know how to reach you, but it seems like these seminars are. And he gave me a stack of cash. He's like, go invest it. Keep going in these seminars.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about it now. It was really cool of him to do that.
Yeah.
That was it. And I think that's the common denominator is it's some people don't like this word, but I do. It's desperation. You got to be desperate. Desperate for new life. And in the Bible, God says, be hot or cold or I'll spit you out. And there's a lot of lukewarm people in the room. The way I define hot is they're making money, life is working, they're kicking ass, and they know training works, so they take new training fast, and they're super in it to win it. Cold means life's not working, and they're desperate for a change. Both those people are really great students.
Yeah.
It's the lukewarm middle that are a pain in the ass. They're not a pain in the ass. I shouldn't say that.
Well, they can be, though, because they absorb. And I've also noticed that sometimes they're the ones that they're fighting you on the concept, even from the audience. And like, we're going to go the Socratic method on this. You're really going to challenge everything that I say.
Well,
we're not going to get anywhere.
They're circling the drain of the comfort zone. They're not actually willing to take the leap, but then they'll just keep complaining while they circle that comfort zone because they're not desperate enough.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
And you just said what I was getting to next is those lukewarm middle don't apply, and then they complain when they don't get results.
Yeah.
And my attitude is, if you really want coaching, so I made a lot of money, did all the stuff they say will make you happy, and it didn't. It was all empty. And I went in this big depression at the same time the recession hit. And my market had been, the seminar company I started taught sales and subconscious programming and productivity tools for real estate investors. And that went away really fast. But I made a lot of money fast, did all this cool ass stuff. I mean, I had people say they would have committed suicide if they weren't there. Like, I made a difference, but it was all empty. And everything just like the bottom fell out. And that's when I was saved like Christians saved. Like, and that's why I'm really passionate about Christ. I was in this pit for like a year, this huge depression. In one of the books on personal growth, they talked about Aikido, and I started taking Aikido. And in martial arts classes, do people show up the way they do in a seminar room and argue with the instructor? You talk about the Socratic method.
No.
Oh, there's so much respect in those rooms.
And it's like, your sensei says something, you do it. And you can opt out of it if you want. Like in Aikido, we roll. You don't have to roll. You could, sensei, my back hurts today, or I'm scared, whatever. And then he'll talk to you, give you a chance to do it again. But it's very respectful. Why has the seminar world gone different? And so one of the things we talk about at our events is we want it to be very much like training with a sensei. You don't have to be here. And if you want to be here, let's create this respectful environment. In Aikido, when you start a practice, like if we're going to do a practice where we're actually putting hands on each other, we bow to each other. And the bow says, our spirits are joining, and I'm going to take care of you, and you're going to take care of me. And that's the vibe I want in my seminar rooms. And I noticed it's drifted away from that recently, and we've had some really difficult people who are in that lukewarm middle.
Yeah.
You know who else is in that lukewarm middle? People who are on payment plans that don't want to pay their bills.
Yep.
Instead of committing and going full in and doing what it takes to win. I believe sometimes the desperation to pay your coaching bill is the exact breakthrough people need to make their life work.
Frequently.
Wow.
That's the one. It's like because it creates an environment that is larger than them, and I love saying, environments grow you faster than your willpower does.
Yes.
And it's like, if I can't will my way, I don't even know how to do that, how to will my way into the growth piece so the environment presents the barriers and the opportunity to grow against while I become a new person. And if you can accept the frame and this new thing and put your own back against the wall, burn the boats and go for it, I mean, the growth is fast. It doesn't need to be this I got to wait 5 years to get that outcome. It's very quick, not comfortable usually, but something simple as a payment plan is an invitation to move forward. But yeah, it's that framing. So in your events and your seminars, is there a way that you've been speaking to or pre-framing that lukewarm middle to kind of try to not make that be a barrier?
I must have stopped doing something in the last 2 years because we didn't have that. So I pivoted full-time to speaker training about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I launched black belt speaker training in 2016. And we really have not had that present for years until the last 2 years. And I don't know if it's in the last 2 years, my dog died, my mom died, we had a baby. So there's been a lot of life changes. What I find too is we like to say how you buy is how you sell. So if I see a lot of people not buying for some reason, like if they say I don't have the time, I start to look at myself and go, okay, where have I been saying I don't have the time? Because they're going to show up in our space.
It mirrors.
Potential buyers,
Interesting.
right? And if you want to be a fast buyer, you guys know Matt Basak?
I know the name.
Matt's an OG in internet marketing.
Yeah.
OG. He's one of the top, he teaches email marketing. He's one of Russell's coaches.
Yeah.
When Russell started.
Yeah.
And he's in one of Russell's masterminds, or at least he was a couple years ago. So I was in Matt's mastermind, I said, how many of you, when someone sells, are the first people at the sales table? Every hand shot up. And then Matt took that question back to the mastermind he was in with Russell, and he said, hey, when there's a sales environment, someone sells from stage, how many of you are first to buy? Every hand shut up. Powerful people make decision quickly, and people who sell big, buy big. And so if you want to be someone who sells big, do you have to run to the back table? If you want it, yes. Because if you don't run to the back table to get what you want, metaphorically, you're saying to yourself in the universe, I'm not playing full out to get the life I want. If you don't want it, there's no question to be had. There's no conversation. But if it's a money conversation, so whatever, you just work it out. But if you're not running to the back table, what are you doing? So it could be my integrity has been out, or I've been doing other life stuff the last couple of years. And so it's showing up in that space. But we would typically have conversations about how to play. And we have agreements and we have standards, and we create those with our people.
Before you even said all of this, when you were talking about like being in Aikido and how you, those martial arts rooms, like they're so respectful. As you were telling that story, I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, I love all the stories you're telling, and it shows me how passionate you are. And I imagine that your audience sees that from stage, and you even maybe sharing that story of like, how come it's not like that in seminars, what it is in these martial arts rooms? I feel like I would be looking up at you from the audience being like, wow, yeah, I want to bring that back to the seminar room. And this is the guy that's going to make that passion contagious. So I don't know if you share that story, but like, that's what I was thinking when you were saying it.
I need to.
Yeah.
If I haven't, I'm going to share my next one.
And the other thing too, we're talking about like the desperation, the people who buy quickly, and your story earlier about you had 3 days to become a hypnotist comedian, and look how creativity requires constraints. And so I think that that's like another story to tell from stage of like, hey, yeah, you might have so many distractions going on. We were at an event last week and I was on my phone and I'm multitasking, and there were things that I was like, this event is cheesy, but like maybe if I was really in the room, maybe I would have had a different experience. So I think it's also pre-framing with that before of like, hey, I like that you said we make agreements and we create constraints because we have 3 days together or however long the event is. And look what you did to become a hypnotist comedian in 3 days. And when you're desperate for revenue or something, like you can really do anything in a short amount of time when you just create the environment for willpower doesn't grow you more than your environment does. Yeah. And then the creativity that requires constraint.
That's fascinating. Yeah. It's funny as I look back on any of the big events that really changed my life. You're right. There was a place of desperation, whether it's because life was bad or because I just was hungry, And I was talking about this with my dad just this last weekend, that it's so impossible to find. It's hard to teach drive, and I don't know how to teach drive, and I don't know how to teach grit. But I almost feel like this is a way around that a little bit, where you can at least shine a light to it and be like, what is your grit? What's the drive? Get out of the lukewarm. Be one or the other as a pre-frame to anything that you're doing. That's interesting.
How to teach it, I don't know. I remember hearing a story, though, about this girl that was, like, she was afraid to sleep at night with the lights off, and she went on a mission trip. I don't remember where they were, but it was, like, where Christianity was illegal. And they wound up smuggling Bibles in by swimming across some river with Bibles in bags. Wow. And she, like, did all this. And they wrapped it up by saying, when she went home, she was okay turning the light off. Right? So I'm not saying people have to do that. And there is something in mission trips when you spend your money to go serve other people. One of the big changes I had in my life, I went to Africa in 2015 for a short-term, like a 10-day mission trip. And I remember looking around at these villages we're in, and you could take 100 of these villages, and you could be the absolute best salesperson in the world. You're not making any money. There's literally no money to be made.
No money.
Not in these villages. I'm not saying all of Africa. I'm just saying in these villages. And I came back to the state. There's so much freaking money here.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity, and people they're just lackadaisical.
They don't see it. Yeah, they don't see it. They're like, how am I going to go make this cash? Like, you're in a first world country that is a world power. Like, you have so many cards stacked in your favor. You can't see that. I was telling someone, they were bashing me for wearing a capless pig shirt. And I was like, no offense, but if you really think money's that evil, you haven't been poor yet. Like, if you're that poor, you know the value of cash. Oh. Like, money doesn't matter. It's like, because it's around you. That's why. Even if you're not rich or whatever, like, yeah.
That is such a naive thing to say.
It is so naive, especially in this country.
One of the girls I met on that, one of the mission trips to Africa, so we support a place called City of Refuge Ministries. They save these kids who are child slaves. And one of the people we met, Geraldine, she was becoming a doctor. So she's 20 something, right? She's finishing grad school. She's about to go to, no, she already had her internship at a hospital. So she's a doctor now, or just about to be. When she was a little girl, her mom was sick and she went to the hospital and begged the doctor to treat her. And over there, you have to pay or they don't treat you. And the doctor laughed at her and said, come back when you have money. And her mom died.
Wow.
So tell me about the value of not having money.
Yeah.
You know, if she had had more money, her mom would have got treated. You want to influence culture? You got to have more money. Nobody listens to broke people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that might sound harsh. It's just true. Mother Teresa was not broke. Mother Teresa swung a ton of money. She lived very humbly, but she wasn't broke, meaning don't have access to money. Mother Teresa swung millions of dollars. Wow.
Yeah. I love the art of stage. It's my sport, man. I just, that's why I built it. You know, I don't think there's anything more fun in the world than you teach some concepts and then you kind of watch their eyes. They leave the room. They're looking at you, but they're not there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they like see their future and then they'll zap back and I'm like looking at them like, gotcha, where'd you go? Furniture shifting in your head forever, son. And then you're never going to, you know, I love that feeling. I love to know why you keep doing stage. And then I also would love to know what your pre-stage warm-up routine is. I always love hearing that from professional speakers.
Ooh, great questions. So why do I keep doing stage? Do you know Jace Souder by any chance?
From you.
Oh, from me? Okay.
Yeah.
Jay had, I forget the name of the company in Canada. He put like 40,000 people through it. It's a personal growth company.
Wow.
And then he segued into doing masterminds. The reason I brought up Jay is we were having lunch one day and I was like, Jay, why do you sell from stage? And he says, he thought about it. He goes, you know, show me another way you can impact as many people and make as many sales in such a short amount of time.
True.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Now there's easier ways to make a buck than coaching. Because when you're coaching, any business you're dealing with people. When you're coaching, you're really dealing with people.
Yeah. All their
And that,
insecurities.
I think you have to have heart in it. I think you got to get an emotional reward, not just financial. Yeah. But that's why to me, it's the number one fastest way to grow a business. It's also, I met my wife when I was speaking. She was an attendee at one of my events. And I told her.
I didn't know that.
I
Cool.
love that
That's
story.
amazing. Well, I didn't know she was an attendee.
Yeah. And I told her, I was like, you met me at my best. It's all downhill from here. like I'm my most free and on stage is like this permission to be great and like to tell stories. I don't feel like if I'm hanging out with my friends, they're going to want me to like do an hour.
Yeah. You guys ready to get
Talk the
hypnotized?
whole time.
I mean, we're doing a podcast and I'm more animated here. I'm on a journey right now to learn to be this expressed just hanging out. Just one-on-one conversations are harder for me than getting on stage. Like I can be very introverted.
I'm the same.
And so the stage is my home. The stage is where I'm most free, most expressed, most alive. And then that's where I get to be in the zone too, just in the zone.
So tell us about how you met your wife then.
The full story?
Open loop.
First day of the event, I was talking about CDs, and I used to sell CDs and stuff, a home study course. And I always look for someone young, and I did, you know what a CD is? And I see this girl with these big glasses. I go, do you know what a CD is? And it was great theater because she wasn't playing along. She leans over beyond the person in front of her, and she goes, yes, I know what a CD is. So if you're single and you're looking for a girl, that line's 100%.
Yeah.
So anyway, like the second day, she comes up to me and she goes, hey, do you know when the break's over? And I'm like, I don't know. I said, whatever time, blah, 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 blah. And I love to tease her. I'm like, she's brilliant. And I'm like, really? You couldn't figure out when the break was over? You were coming up to hit on
me.
To her credit, though, we were loosey-goosey on break ending times. And I think I don't know. But anyway, we hugged. And this is the part where I sound like a whatever weirdo. But like her hair, like, in my face. And it smelled so good. I was like, oh. And I was like, can I smell your hair? And the guy's like, this is so weird, but can I smell your hair? And she's like, yeah. And I hugged her again. It was just like, oh, I was like home. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
It was like one of those things about how, so I just did my human design and smell is my top one.
What's your human design?
Generator or something?
Okay.
Do you guys
I'm a
know?
projector. Steven's a manifesting generator.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have such a resistance of being a self-determined human that the time and location I'm born dictates so much of my life.
Sure.
Having said that, though, I think where I'm going to now is if it gives me an advantage, it makes my life easier, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's push it.
Yeah. So smell then.
So
So you smelled your future wife's hair, and then you
And then
proposed.
you're like, I'm in love.
Pretty much
This is
it.
it. Thanks, Turbulences.
So I go, so what are you up to later? And she goes, I think a group of us are going to hang out in the lobby. And I go, oh, maybe I'll join you. And she goes, it's a date. And I was like, and she's
Wow.
diddle. For those of you who don't know Betsy, she's diddle.
Yeah.
'Cause she's a powerhouse, though. And I'm like,
It's a date.
this girl
Like, is
knows
it
what
an
she
actual
wants.
date?
She's direct. I'm like, okay. And so then she leaves. And then I went and met that night. We kind of hit it off. But she had a boyfriend at the time. And we wound up cheating on him, which wasn't cool. And then we were like, no, we can't do this. And then I was like, if you guys ever break up, let me know. And then they broke up. And so then like that next weekend I was out there. And we were going to get married within 3 months when we met.
Wow.
But actually, we both had wounding as evidenced by how fast we hooked up and cheated on him. Like, if I had been healthier, I wouldn't have done that to another man.
Sure.
And I was just in a place that it was really a weird weekend for me because when I became Christian, I really worked on going more and more celibate. I never got there, but I wasn't just fooling around. But that weekend, I was like, I don't care. All bets are off. And which was a weird space for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week before we were supposed to get married, she wound up cheating with him. And it's not that she wanted to hurt or punish, and I have her permission to tell this story. It was her family of origin and the subconscious filter she had for life was like, it's never going to get better. And it's going to keep getting worse. And men are abusive and bad. And so when
Therefore,
she cheated, and I called off the wedding, she was actually surprised that I called off the wedding. It was interesting timing is I got to the 7-day intensive called Onsite. And it's really,
I've heard of it.
It's super.
Yeah.
Like you have no phones, no contact with the outside world, never alone, nothing. Like they only give you caffeine in the mornings. They have sugar all day, but nothing else that you could be like addicted on. And I heard about it from what's his name? The story brand. Donald Miller wrote about it in the book, and he went to it, had big breakthroughs. So I went, and it was when I came out of that, is when I just realized I was just so in love with her, wanted to marry her. And then when she cheated, we called off the wedding, did postpone. I said, just take our honeymoon money and go to Onsite. And when she went to Onsite, she was sitting. We were going to get married on either Valentine's or the day after, and it was Valentine's. Wherever it was Valentine's, and she's sitting on this bench on the day we're supposed to get married, and she feels like she married God that day.
Wow.
Like God came into her heart and really like said how much He loved her, and so she wound up getting married that day. Was to God, and that's when her healing journey started. I don't know what got me to tell all this part, but that's part of the reason I'm so passionate about seminars and workshops and stuff. One of the things Onsite says is we get wounded in community, so we need to heal in community. And I'm a big believer in that. So we decided to work it out. We wound up getting married a couple years later. And we had some big challenges still. And that's when psychedelics made a difference. We went to this thing that used psychedelics to be able to heal. And that made a huge difference.
We're big believers in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, did a lot of healing for us, for sure.
Yeah.
I've actually been going back and forth on it a lot lately because, like, I really think it's so powerful. I'm like, is it a non-Christian thing to do? Does it open a door for the enemy to come in?
Right.
Or is this just BS?
I've researched that a bit too. I'm in a place where I have really enjoyed the growth that's come from it. And we also do it in what I feel is a sacred container, that we're not doing it, at a rave or at a house party. So I think it's also the container that you do it in.
The intention, I think, matters a
set
lot.
and setting.
It's like driving a car. It's like a power. You could use it for bad or good. You know what I mean?
But I'm totally open to the conversation. I'd love to explore more if that's something, offline, obviously, but like whatever you discover, I'd love to talk about.
Yeah, because I don't have peace. And when I don't have peace about something, then I'm like, okay, there's something to work on.
Sure.
And I feel like God's been talking to me about that. Either don't do it or fully be okay with it. And every time I do it, I feel like I'm a kinder, better person for sure. And can I tell you guys a new brand image I got?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this mastermind somewhere that's legal, for the record.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying that. That might have been a lie. I don't want to lie. I went to a mastermind somewhere, and we used this one medicine that shuts off the amygdala in mastermind. It was amazing. So a couple of us stayed the next day, and we did a medicine. And I went in and I journeyed, and I had this, and this was probably 3 weeks ago. And it was the image I got. I'm in the back of this truck, and I'm like this, and I'm holding my son in front of me. He's probably 12, and there's these other guys sitting on kind of the railings of the pickup, and we're all really fit, and we were just working out. And the message I got, God, and I feel like God, Jesus talks to me, and I pray, and I like say the name of Jesus to make sure the space is clear and all that. And it was like, you got to plant your flag. I'm like, do we really need, like, don't people know? And he said, nope, you need to plant your flag. What is your flag planted on? And my flag is planted on American values. And it's not like America's the best country in the world. It probably is, but I love a bunch of Canadians that are amazing. I've been to other countries that are great. The point is, in America, we do have freedom still, thank God.
Yeah.
And if America falls, the rest of the world falls.
Yeah.
And if we don't keep that freedom, things can go sideways. And like the right to bear arms is huge.
Huge.
And people are misconstruing what Charlie said, but Charlie was right. Just like people are, we know there's certain people are going to die from car accidents. We choose to have cars. Certain people are going to die from gun violence. We choose guns because we don't have guns. What could happen down the road could be millions upon millions of people die.
Right.
And so training, protecting so where my flag is planted, American values, training with firearms, training with your physical thing to be a weapon to protect your family, Christianity. That's where this thing is, my flag is planted. And for me, Christianity too, I want to say this too. I think for all religions to exist, Christians have to be the ones holding the reins. And what I mean by that is, if government's taken over by certain other religions, they will eliminate Christianity and the other religions. Whereas if a Christian's doing it right, I believe they hold the space for people to be whatever they are, and they approach them through love. At least that's the ideal.
Powerful.
So God's like, you need to plant your flag. And I had this vision. It's called, the working title's American Dad Fit. And it's about getting healthy and training every day. And it's not just physical training, it's mental and emotional training, doing the deep work, going inside, doing psychedelics, doing personal growth, like really becoming a good man and a good leader. And so God laid that vision on me, and it was like hard. I was like, whoa. And it was about a week to 10 days later, Charlie was shot.
Wow.
And I was like, and so I got onto this thing about psychedelics. I was like, look what I saw on this journey. And then 10 days later, I saw the need for this thing.
Yeah.
That's directly impacted moves for me and places that we're going. And one of the things that I'll do is spot check to see if it was just emotion. You know what I mean? Wait a few weeks and then come back to it. And the notes you took and the things to see if you were just in the moment or if it's actually, you can recheck it and not just straight up, trust it. It could just be that I was thinking something cool, but it wasn't actually a message,
If I can just reflect, like everything that you've just said throughout this whole conversation too, I have a sticker on my water bottle, and it's also been a line from the Bible that is very strong lately, is like, that you've been created for such a moment as this. And everything that you just shared, and you said that like we are wounded in communities, we need to heal in communities. Look at your whole life trajectory and what happened with your parents growing up and what you were told to be, and you didn't end up being that. And then you took this career path and you created this career in a short amount of time and put yourself in these uncomfortable situations, and how you met your wife and how you've healed together. And now that, and you have your son and you're parenting your child in the way that you needed and probably healing yourself through that too. And now to be able to bring that to people, those moments where you like reverse engineer your life and you're like, oh, all the dots connect. Like you can only connect the dots backwards instead of forward. Like I'm just seeing this and I'm like, validation. It makes sense. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, it's been cool. I love it. There's days I'm like, oh, this is so hard. I want to do something else.
Right.
But
you got to be hot or cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. On.
Hey.
Can't be lukewarm.
I know we have some rapid fire questions.
I do.
But I do want to ask though, before we get into that, it's been so fun to see the motivation you have behind World Speaker Academy. You have a lot of whys, right? And some strong ones. And there's a lot of emotional charge and benefit that you're bringing to people and growth opportunities. Could you name the mission of World Speaker Academy?
Yeah, World Class Speaker Academy.
Yeah.
Also, did you want me to share my prep? I can do it pretty quick.
I'd love to know too.
So our why is, we believe you have a God-given mission only you can do, and it can be fulfilled and funded through your business. And so what that means is, in our main niche is coaches. I think there's a coach who does health stuff. And I got really clear on something recently. I hope this sounds all right. By and large, people don't listen to the dead. And here's what I mean by that. There's some great trainings out there by coaches who have passed away, like Zig Ziglar. Oh. And how many new people coming up are going to dig up a Zig CD versus go to an event where a live speaker is speaking?
Sure, yeah.
And so I believe that the world needs more coaches to take the stage and make an impact in the lane that they're gifted in, which is probably the lane where they were super wounded. So like there's a health coach that probably overcame a big health thing that's going to help someone, only people they can help. There's a money-making coach, what you guys do. There's people who have lanes that if they don't do that, the people they're meant to help won't get helped, and then the world doesn't get helped. And so our mission is to catalyze people to go make their specific difference in the world and use speaking to grow their coaching business. And really what's behind all that is, maybe if my dad had a coach, he never would have got shot down because the way he communicated to a squadron didn't work. My dad doesn't really talk to me now. Maybe we would have a relationship. My mom grew up she was abused as a little girl, and I don't think she ever got over it. And I actually started studying how to facilitate psychedelics because I wanted to help do it for her. And unfortunately, she passed in March, and maybe my mom could have got over that. So I really see that if we can empower more coaches and well-meaning stuff outside of like traditional education, they're going to change the world. This is how we're going to change. This is the next way we're going to change the way, and where we're moving into is a transformation economy, which is a whole different conversation. So, all right. So prep work. Every year, my wife and I, we go to at least one deep personal growth event, like a multi-day, deep ass personal growth event to stay plugged in. 2, the more I hang out with other great coaches, I'm great. Specifically leading up to an event or a speaking gig, I'll make sure that week I get a massage. I will, we have friends, Troy and Lori, that have Ascend Wellness Brain Center. If I can get neurofeedback or they hook up electrodes to the brain, I'll do that. They have a bioblaster machine. I'll go soak in that.
Love that.
And then I have 2 coaches I work with, Shiraz and Liz. Shiraz calls himself a reality interventionist. I don't know how he does what he does, but he'll ask me questions and he'll elicit these limiting beliefs I have. And then he does something and it just goes away. Like I did some work with him. We had a 20-person event and I was like, I don't know how sales will be, blah, blah. I worked with him. We did $400,000 at that event, $410,000 in sales.
Wow.
And another coach I work with is Liz, and she does muscle testing to discover stuff, and we'll process that out. And then personally, I create 4 things: who the audience is for me, who I am for them, what they're going to experience, and what they're going to walk away with. So for instance, who they are for me might be, this is the next group of world changers. Who they are for me might be young, eager Padawans. Who they are for me is people excited and ready to go. Whatever it is, I'll do it. I'll keep going until I get an emotional hit. And then who I am for them, I'm the grizzled veteran, or I am the speaker who's going to turn them free, or I am the person who's showing them $1 million path, or I am whatever, Obi-Wan Kenobi, could be whatever, right? Until I hit on something that emotionally jacks me up. So when I walk in that room, I don't see them for who they've been before they got there. I see them as what I've created them to be. Which they might not be yet. I could say they're a group of world changers. Well, they maybe have never changed any world before, but that's how I'm going to see them. And if I see them that way, then they're going to step into that. The other 2 things I'll create is what they're going to experience because they're there, and then the outcome of it. What's going to happen in their life and what will happen with sales. So I'll do all of that. I'll make sure I'm working out. I don't drink as much as I used to, but I'll definitely cut down drinking right before events, especially for a couple of weeks. If it's a big event, like a month, maybe do a journey like a week before to get really in a good mental space.
That's been helpful for me.
Has it?
Sometimes you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a few weeks ahead, though. Can we? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually did one like 2 days. It was great.
Really amazing.
It was fantastic. So all of that, I'd say though the massages and stuff really help too. Body work, massages, just because the more open and relaxed you are, the more open and relaxed you be on stage. And then I love it. I haven't done this much lately, but watching funny movies the night before or the day before, because we'd be thinking about those, like you were quoting Airplane.
Yeah.
That'll get you giggling. When you're giggling, you'll be having more fun on stage. And the more fun you are on stage, the more sales you're going to make, more impacts, all that.
I watch comedy every night.
Do you?
Yeah, right before I go to bed, just for even like 10 minutes.
He's never watched Friends, though. Isn't that crazy? Uh-oh. Have you not?
I'll give you that. The reason I go back and forth is Friends is funny. Actually, no, Friends is funny.
It's a classic.
I think where I was caught in my head is a lot of people watch it in front of their kids, and a lot of that humor is not appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally watched it growing up. I don't know. Forget it.
It's easy to miss a lot of their humor and stuff.
I watched a lot of stuff that we wouldn't let our kids watch now. I just did.
Really? Yeah. Totally, yeah. I liked Friends. That's why I held up. Yeah, Friends would work. Do you ever watch The Office?
Oh, Steve can quote
Probably
it.
16 times through.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
He just repeats it. I'm like, I'm good if I watch a show once.
Part of the reason I do it is because I know it's funny, and I know that it needs to lighten the mood from the
Quote it,
day.
too.
And it's just something to just not be thinking.
I have rapid fire questions, but you don't have to answer them rapid fire because your stories are great too. So, First stage you ever sold from, how much did you make?
So that first seminar company I went to, I want to speak on their behalf, selling their stuff. I led like small groups during their events and all that. And then I wound up leading one of their big events. And at one of their ones where I was coaching, I got on stage and sold, it was an influence for real estate investors. And I think there was 30, I remember I did 60% of the room. So I think I did 24,000. It was $1,000 I had, did 24,000 with 40 people in the room.
Heck yeah. That's
awesome.
A great close rate.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
Flight attendant days, aisle or window seat?
Oh, flight attendant days?
Or when you travel now?
Back then, window. Now I like access to the bathroom, the aisle.
Sure.
Yeah. Most surprising place you found inspiration for your sales strategies?
I don't know if this one fits, but this is what popped in my head. I want to put together a sales training where people come out for like 5 days or 3 days, whatever, and we teach them sales skills. And then you know those people in the bathrooms that sell gum and stuff? We stick them in a bathroom to sell that stuff. Like they got to go work a nightclub bathroom and they got a quota and they got to hit.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you have to stand in that bathroom for 6 hours.
There's desperation.
And you smell all that here. It's going to get really easy to leave there and pick up the phone and sell the coaching program. So
I've never heard that, but it's great.
If we could stick people, oh my gosh, they'd be, and then it's such good practice. Like I like MLMs, not for, well, a lot of best products come out through MLMs first.
Yeah.
There's also nice fun practice to have sales conversation practice.
Oh, yeah.
I recommend a lot of new entrepreneurs, join an MLM, not because you want to be in an MLM ever, do it for the practice.
Get your training wheels. It's amazing.
Yes,
funny.
yes, and yes.
One body language tell that you spot in people?
Their feet.
Their feet. Like how where their
feet
position?
don't lie. Yeah, they're moving to the back table or they're not. They're pointing their feet towards you or they're not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you ever read the definitive book of body language?
Mm-mm.
That was I obsessed over that in college for that exact reason, to like read tells on people, and it said the exact thing.
Really?
Feet don't lie.
What?
If they're pointing towards you, they want to talk to you. If they're pointing away, they don't want to be talking to you. Shut up.
Totally.
The feet point in the
Why are they
direction.
pointing over?
The feet point in the direction where the mind goes.
I'm kidding. So, you know what? I do want to point this out, though. Do you notice how many topics that I brought up and you're like, oh, yeah, I studied that intensely. There's no mistake. And you haven't said that, but I bet you've studied the same stuff. Success follows certain principles and patterns.
Yeah.
And if you want to be successful in business, you have to be. I think that's part of the reason I'm tripped up with the book question. Because for me, a business is simply an expansion of a human. It's a corporation, corpse, body. And so if your heart's not right, the business's heart isn't right. If you're not thinking sharp, the business isn't thinking sharp. If you don't have communication skills, the business won't have communication skills. And so if you want to succeed in business, it's less about how to put part A and part B. It's more, like Hisaki said, it's how you sell it. And so it's studying sales, it's studying body language, it's studying personal growth, it's studying all of those intangibles that then make the tangibles go. And I just, how much stuff have you immersed yourself in? And that's why you guys are so great at this. There's no mistake.
And then lastly, please tell people about your events that they can come check out.
Yeah, you guys need to, by the way. His stuff's incredible.
Yeah, we have one with him
Life-changing.
coming up, and then another one that's also going to be here in this studio.
Yeah, and I will say that even our own events, something I was bragging about you it was 2 or 3 days ago to someone, or whenever it was. But I found myself multiple times bragging about you. Maybe we should have started the episode this way, because I like to teach, but that's different than transforming. And then you'll be in the audience and it'll be in the middle of a break. And several times you've come up and you're like, hey, do you want me to like cement that last principle in their head? Or hey, do you want me to like get the energy back just a little bit? And you'll grab the mic completely unprepared, but you know what you're doing. Very prepared, I guess. Is you'll come up and you'll do something that lifts the room up or like fosters the transformation of what I just said. It's like, I think that's where people mess up on stage too. They think that transforming someone is to teach everything you know. It's not the same thing at all.
No.
You're not reading a textbook to them. And the things that you do and the way that you mentally like shape their brain and tee up a little, oh, here's a barrier, now let's knock it down. You knocked it over, and then you bring self-awareness to it. It is absolutely a skill and art. It's not being a college professor. And so
Yes.
you guys should go to his event and learn this, because you're not giving a college presentation. It's not professor style, and it's completely a skill to watch what you do. I've even gotten frustrated in the past, not with you, but I'll watch someone who comes up And I'm like, where was the meat in that speech? You know, I spent 3 days crafting these formulas and these things. And then someone will get up and all they do is they move the room and they get the room actually like, you know, and everyone's like, that speech was awesome. And I was like, but where was the meat? You know, and I got way too like left brain for a period of time in my career.
Yeah.
And I still get stuck into sometimes. You're not just telling someone how to craft a speech topic. And it's wild. It's wild to watch. I've loved coming to your events. So anyway, yes, big plug. Please
Well,
go.
we're having one here. You keep
Yeah. Everyone come. Yeah.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
October 22 through 24. We're going to be here in this, and what we're going to talk about. A lot of what we talked about today, we're going to actually go into it. And so it's called Speak to Millions, and it's double entendre. What's this business structure to reach millions of dollars using speaking as your marketing vehicle? And I'm in your coaching program. Part of the reason I'm in is all of my business comes from speaking. We've done nothing with funnels. And so now I'm learning funnels.
It's awesome. Blows my mind. So cool.
I actually was hesitant for a long time to get funnels going.
Sure.
Because I loved being able to say I have $1 million business and it's all from speaking and it's very low tech, which is cool. So the business structure for that, and then we're going to go into the formula to sell from stage is compelling content, that's your script, delivery, and your mindset. So we're going to go into that, content, delivery, mindset. And then what we're going to do a lot is, and you were just touching on this when you were talking about, I call it the third island principle. Most coaching programs, the first two islands in any coaching program is what to do. It's new thoughts, new actions. Here's how you make $1 million. Here's how you drive a race car. Here's how you lose weight. Here's how you whatever, right? And the third island that most people don't have, we'll talk about in a minute. We used to be in an information economy. People would sell information. Here's how to lose weight. Here's how to make money. Here's how to be a digital marketer. Then we moved into an experiential economy. Oh, let me give you this cool experience while I teach you this stuff. Let me put on a bit of a show, or let me take you on a vacation and then teach you this stuff in my coaching program. But we moved out of that into a transformation economy. And so what we teach is called the third island principle, and the third island needs to be a breakthrough island. So it's not enough to teach here's how you become a digital marketer. You have to be a digital marketer. And to step into that identity, there's going to be some resistance, like from their core wounding, like the stuff I talk about with my wife and me. There's going to be I'll give you an example. Like we were doing a 3-day event and we had consistently been doing 15%. And we had enough people come to a 3-day event. We do 15%, it would have been $1 million event. When I hadn't done the third island on myself to be someone who could do $1 million in a weekend, and we only did 5% of the room. We still did multiple hundred thousands, but we didn't do $1 million. I sabotaged it subconsciously. Does it make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
So
I want to learn.
So what we have to put into people's coaching program, no matter what it is a transformation island. So that means coaches either need to learn how to transform their audience or bring other people in who can facilitate it and build it into the program.
Fascinating.
And what's going to happen is the coaches who don't have transformation, they're going to be left behind because the market's smarter. I mean, even on TikTok, they sell books on shadow journaling and stuff. And I'm like, this is so common as being sold on TikTok. Whereas when I started 20 years ago, people like subconscious programming, right? They didn't believe it. But now the market's savvy enough that they're going to be shopping coaches and people who are providing things. And they're going to go, okay, let's talk about money, like we're investing. Okay, you could be my financial planner, but I need to make some internal shifts to become a wealthy person, to stop the limiting money beliefs that came from my parents, to step into the mindset and the heart set of a wealthy person. And if I don't get that, all this other stuff's not going to work. So it's the coaches and the service providers, even outside of coaching, that offer transformation that are going to succeed where everybody else is going to be left behind. So we're going to do a lot of that at Speak to Millions. And so we're going to talk about the business structure. We're going to talk about how to reach people, and then ideally how do you reach millions of people with your message.
And it's speaktomillions.com.
We're going to set up a special link for you guys.
Oh.
It's going to be speaktomillionsevent.com/rare. I want to make it free, but I think for tracking purpose, it's going to be $1.
Yeah.
For your audience, $1 is...
Yeah.
Frankly, we're selling it for like we're bundling it with other stuff and selling it for $500 other places. But this will get you a free $1 general admission ticket.
It's amazing.
So if you're watching this, freaking go to that link. That's amazing.
That's crazy, man. That's insane.
Yeah,
Cool
speaktomillionsevent.com/rare. And yeah, you're welcome to share it with other cool people.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Well, this was epic.
Incredible.
I've learned a lot. Got to be hot or cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to be on fire.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. This was so
Seriously.
fun.
Incredible,
you guys are
Sam.
awesome.
Thank you.
Every time I'm around you guys, I feel like, I'm smarter now. I feel better.
Feelings mutual.
We just soaked up all of your stories.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
smart,
taking
man.
notes in my head. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I need to do that more.
So cool.
Transform.